Italian Football Podcast.
Let's talk about Saudi Arabia, because I think this is a game changer for Saudi Arabia. This is a signing that they're not just signing older players like Sadio Mane and Karim Benzema and Cristiano Ronaldo, players that are in their 30s and are going for one big last payday. And they're not signing the B-level kind of players like Ruben Neves or even to an extent someone like Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, somebody that's not wanted by the big clubs anymore. They're now signing players that are, the best young talent. And they're now signing a player this player wasn't just wanted by Napoli, Gabri Veiga. He was wanted by a lot of the big Premier League teams as well. And he's a huge talent, Gabri Veiga, huge talent. And in fact, I just saw Tony Cruz just left a comment under the news that he's moving to there. I can't remember what he said. It was something like ridiculous or something like that. So, this is a game changer, I think, don't you think, for Saudi Arabia, in terms of they are now signing the best talent now.
Yeah, and they're about to sign, Al Nassr is about to sign Otavio from Porto for 60 million euros as well. Yeah, I mean, but this was always going to happen. This isn't China, and this is what I've been saying consistently for a bit now, that this is not the Chinese Super League. Saudi Arabia is not China. They have a history of football. They have a history of football culture, and they've also, it's I don't know, what is it, 20 million people, 30 million people, how many people that live there. It's a big population. This isn't like Qatar either. They have a lot, there are football, they're massive fanatic football fans in Saudi, and now they have money to spend because they want to grow their league. They want the Saudi league to be the biggest league in Asia, and they want to host a World Cup, and this is part of that. So I'm not surprised. I was just waiting for this. And let's remember, we did see, if you remember, what was his name? The Brazilian who everyone wanted, but he ended up going to China for ridiculous amounts of money when he was just a young player. He wasn't past his best or anything like that. I can't remember for the life of me his name.
Not Malcolm.
No.
Not Talisca.
Sorry?
Not Talisca.
No.
Talisca.
No, I can't remember his name, but I remember this was a player who everyone wanted. He was from Brazil. He went directly from Brazil to China, paid a ridiculous amount of money, and spent.
I can't remember.
But I can't remember his name. But yeah, it'll come to me. But yeah, this is kind of that moment. But the difference is, of course, that football has never really been that big in China. They're still growing. They're trying to find their identity. Football is massive in Saudi. And I think, and in the Middle East, and I think this is not like China. This is going to linger on, and this is the new reality, and everyone just has to adapt to it. And they're not part of UEFA, so they're not bound by UEFA's rules. And if the rumors are true that they want to join the Champions League, or one or two other clubs could join the Champions League, I'd find that, interesting. I don't know how feasible it is, but I wouldn't exclude it. But no, this is the new reality, and I think we're going to see more and more of it from this. I think the Premier League now is going to have to deal with Saudi Arabia the same way that other clubs and other leagues have had to deal with the Premier League for decades now. It's just the reality of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think this is huge. I actually think this could be the biggest one yet. I think this will send a message to other younger players who are maybe a little bit hesitant. Or do I want to go to Saudi Arabia? Is it good for my career? I'm only in my young 20s, or I think this will send a message to those that if they can just get a couple more kind of Gabri Veiga types, I think suddenly you'll then start getting players that are, even teenagers, 20-year-olds, 21, 22, 23, 24, and not, late 20s in their 30s kind of players. So I think it's big.
Alex Teixeira was who I was thinking about. Alex Teixeira was the player who joined Yangshu Suning for 50 million after Shakhtar. That's the one. That's the one I was thinking about. So.
He didn't make much of his career, did he?